Welcome, welcome, Miss Gorgeous.
Thank you. How are
What,
you?
what? I'm all the better for seeing you now. Come on, it's my birthday week, and I get to have Melba Moore in my
Oh,
living room. Come
well,
on.
welcome to the planet. Happy birthday to you.
Guys, did your computer screens just crack? Fantastic. Thank you for my birthday message. How are you, my darling? How are you?
Very, very well. It's been challenging, but I win.
I can see you looking radiant and fabulous, as
Thank you.
only expected of Miss Melba. And I love when you said in the week, yeah, I came out of lockdown smaller than I went in. And I can see you're a woman of your word. You were smaller than you went in. How did you manage that?
Well, fortunately, I have a lot of food allergies.
Okay. So
So,
that helps.
see, the things that make you fat are the same things that make you sick.
Yeah, this is true.
So you're inspired to do well, because when you have no distractions, you're in charge.
Yeah, but
You could become.
during lockdown, the fridge was everybody's best friend.
No, it wasn't.
Well, they thought he was, but
Boy, it was wrong, wasn't they?
yeah, that's right. They were wrong.
Yeah.
So you're coming out fabulous and things are opening up again. So you will be ready to stomp those boards and do your thing.
Yeah, I'll be ready.
Yeah. How did you spend lockdown? Obviously not eating like the rest of us.
Oh, well, no, I can't even tell you. First of all, I'm cooking, if you want to call it that,
Okay. You're cooking.
because I don't want to go out. I mean, I have my masks and everything, but it's dangerous.
Yeah,
And whenever you get processed foods, you don't have full knowledge of what's being put into them.
absolutely.
And so I get, everything that's fresh and, no fried foods, no dairy. A lot of the things that most singers know they can't eat anyway.
Yeah.
But when on lockdown, and I'm concerned, that my immune system is going to get clogged up, and it's springtime here, so like a lot of allergies are in the air. I live in an apartment complex, and I can smell the smoke from the person that's smoking next door to me.
Yeah.
So I close the door and put the screen up and put the fan on so I don't smell that. I mean, just kind of are awakened to your food has to be your medicine, because first of all, if you wanted to, you can't go to the hospital.
Yeah. This is true, actually. You can't even get your doctor. So, it's like,
So
well,
just
I mean,
there are
you
things
are
about.
very disciplined. I can see extremely disciplined, because
Yeah,
even though we all know those things, a lot of people lapse and they'll say,
yeah.
oh, I'm giving myself a treat. And you think, why do you think something that's poisoning you is a treat?
Because you'll get over it if it's not too bad and you don't die. But this time you
Yeah.
die from the treat.
Yeah, but if you keep on with the treat on a regular basis, it's no longer a treat. It becomes a lifestyle.
But
And then,
that's what inspires me, because I'm very given to that. So I'll either have to go one extreme, like positively, or I'll probably lapse and go into the other extreme. And before I know it, like I'll get a food allergy, it'll turn into bronchitis, that'll turn into pneumonia. That
yeah,
you go to try to take this vaccine and it's over.
this is it. It really is one of those situations. But your discipline does definitely help you get through it healthily
Yeah.
and looking as fabulous as you do coming out the other end.
I don't know how you mean
Come
that.
on now, don't be giving me those blushes. You look fabulous.
No, I was thinking about you telling me I was coming out the other end.
Okay, that's a whole different conversation.
No, it takes a great deal of discipline. And I encourage everybody, use this time to develop your discipline. Everybody has it if they want it.
Yeah. I mean, as you say, when in life are we going to have another year confined and not being able to go out? So it's how you use it, it's how you
Take
use the
this
time.
opportunity, because, I hope we're among the majority. I don't know, but we've lost
Yeah.
tens of thousands of people who have to come to one thing or another.
Hundreds of thousands. It's horrific.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
horrific.
it's the thing to pay close attention to, these little things. You know how they say, I used to say, I don't say this anymore, the devil is in the details. You got to put the devil out and put God in the details.
That's right. That's right. Well, I have to start by saying it is such an honor to speak to you for the simple reason you are the real deal. You are one of the legends. And I myself am financially and emotionally, more importantly, emotionally involved with your musical journey because I've been buying all the records since the 70s. Not that I look old enough. That was your
no,
cue.
you don't. And you're one of my major investors.
Absolutely. You know, and it's the memory of, and the emotional side is the memory of where every one of those tracks were played, what we were wearing, how we were dancing, how it made us feel. That is the most important thing, the emotional investment. So, you know, for me, it really is an honor to speak to somebody that I've been listening to since the 70s. So thank you for taking time to speak to the BTM Club and tell us the Melba story. So as I said, you are the real deal. You are song and dance and movies and theater. You're the real deal. Tell me how it started for you.
Well, I started out as the daughter of a single parent in New York City, Manhattan. My mother was a professional singer, but she was trying to take care of me once she got pregnant and her sick mom.
Right.
So I started my life out in New York City with my mother gone, no present father, and being raised by a nanny. Skip a little bit, the first 9-10 years of my life, my mother married a musician that she worked with. They fell in love. And they moved me and my grandmother and my nanny to Newark, New Jersey. Right. And my stepfather was a piano player. He had a son and a daughter. So now I had a sister and a brother.
Ready-made.
Right. So he also had sisters and brothers. So now I had aunts and uncles.
Okay.
So what I'm telling you, I think is very important. I started from a broken family, only child, no siblings, no one to play with or to communicate with.
Yeah.
Except the neighbors and outside on the street, to now I have a family. And music is the centerpiece of our lives. So my stepfather made me, my sister, and my brother learn how to play the piano.
Lovely.
And so
always a good start.
Wonderful start. And my mother was beautiful, physically beautiful, but she had a beautiful voice and aspiring singer and all of the things, you know, we have to look a certain way in a certain, you know, discipline. They're disciplined because they love their art. And they're Black, we're African American, so we're in a white society. So we, you know, our boys have to be careful. The girls have to be taught to be ladies. They really wanted us to have a good education, go further than we did. So music is the centerpiece, and we have to study and be disciplined. I now have to learn how to talk with my brother, not beat him down, because I learned in the streets of New York.
Yeah, because I see that you're a New Yorker originally.
Yes. Very, very different from Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
So my nanny, my grandmother, and I were all part of this new family. So I'm not going to tell you all the details, but we went on. I learned by the time I was probably maybe 12 or 13 that I had a voice, because there was no one around. There was no music in my life before that. Now music is a piece of our lives, and we all sing. Everybody sings. I mean, not to be a singer, but our parents rehearsed their band in our living room. My mother had a beautiful voice, and we were all encouraged to sing sing songs, sing on trips. And so we learned that I have a voice. Right.
But there are two important things there that you've said about suddenly having a family, and that environment nurtured you. It kind of nurtured you. And of course, music was the centerpiece because your mother was a singer and your stepfather a jazz musician. But that family thing, it was a nurturing environment. It was really developing and bringing out the Melba that we know today, because that's where it started.
That's my point. Yes.
Yeah. And the second thing is, you say that they wanted you to do better than they did, you know, and that is an attitude and mentality of the time, because Now it seems to be a bit of entitlement rather than striving to be better than the last generation. So that's a really lovely reflection of the time and the attitude.
I think so. Striving is not bad. Suffering is not bad. You shouldn't just suffer, but don't be afraid to sacrifice to get what you want, which you practice work, the work ethic, I think. Yes.
Absolutely. So you discovered you had a voice at 13.
Or around there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we all had voices. So I'm saying, like, going to junior high school, you have chorus. We still had music in the public schools.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't have it. It's very, very important because whether you're going to be a musician or not, music is really, truly the universal language. It binds people. So you come out even more, you know, your friends make a bigger difference to you, especially when you see, I remember his name now because music, I don't have a great memory, but because music was so exciting and wonderful. And I remember there was this boy in junior high school, I guess it was the maybe the 8th grade. His name was Barrie Durant, and he could play by ear.
Right.
So you get to see somebody else. Yeah. You get to see somebody else and their talent, and then you're inspired because you're in music class or course or whatever, or club. You know, you have talent shows and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's in that environment. I said, you know what? When it's time to go to high school, I think they have an art and music high school. I think I'd like to major in music.
Right. Okay. I mean, because some people, they do lots of other jobs beforehand, and then they kind of drift into their passion of music. And then other people, it was music from the beginning. It was never going to be anything else. There was never another option. It was always going to be music.
Well, I didn't really know that, but it kind of really took over me. And because music was our whole environment, I don't think I really knew that.
Right.
I think that's important to tell people who may have an inkling or something, and you don't follow it because you don't know it.
Yeah.
There's something that moves you that I've been trying to observe, you know, myself going through these things. And before I know it, I think a spirit gives you the urge to do something and you're doing it. If somebody could recognize this in themselves as they're being motivated to do things, I hope they can observe themselves, maybe see themselves going towards something that might really be good for them. And they'll know to pay attention to it and say, yeah, let me at least try that, you know?
Well, yeah, I think that, and you don't get that until the later years. But if you could see your younger self, and the advice you give to people is, don't worry about whether you're good or bad at something. If you feel it, try it. Because with trying it comes practice, and with practice comes improvement. You know what I mean? So if you're feeling it,
if you find out if it's not for you, but do you really know it's not? And then when you try to choose something else, you can move on to it with a clearer mind. Yeah.
And there's no point in changing it. There's nothing wrong with changing your mind.
No, it's just
you can change your mind. You can change your direction.
Yes.
It's your life to do with what you want. But, you know, in those changes is when you might discover your vocation.
Yes.
You know, which is...
I mean, it might not be music, but music might help you see it.
Yeah. So moving on from that era to when Melba first got signed.
Oh, you kind of can't skip to that because it didn't happen the way you probably think it did.
Really?
I didn't get signed. You're talking to a record label, right?
Uh-huh.
No, I didn't get signed until, well, not only years later, but events later. First of all, I went to arts high school and I majored in music.
Right.
Okay. I got my degree there, went to Montclair University. I majored in music education.
Oh, right.
My parents wanted us to get a good education, not just get out there. They did.
Right.
So we did. So then I was a public school teacher of music first. Okay. Yeah. And after a while, I said, Daddy, this teaching school, I did it because you said do it. And this is your dream. It's not mine. I want to be a performer.
Right.
So he took me to some of his friends to try to get me introduced into the industry. And to make a long story a little bit shorter, one of the first people, let's skip to this part. One of the first people I met a lot of people, but among them was Valerie Simpson.
Right.
She was an aspiring songwriter. She was a jingle singer and a voiceover singer. So we talked and we exchanged numbers, and she got me involved in studio backup singing.
Right.
I'm skipping again.
Don't skip too much.
Okay. One of the recording sessions that we were doing backup for was for a gentleman by the name of Galt McDermott. Galt McDermott was a songwriter, a pianist, musician, and he was recording his own solo album of the music from the Broadway musical Hair.
Right. Okay.
He was being accompanied by two other gentlemen, Jim Rado and Jerry Ragney. Now, they wrote the lyrics for all of the music in the Broadway musical Hair, and they also wrote the script, and they were the two male leads. They wrote this play for themselves. Well, the show had already played at Joseph Papp's Off-Broadway Theater and a few other places, so it was pretty well known already, but it wasn't on Broadway yet. So they were still casting for it, and when this recording session, which took about 2 weeks, finished, they let us know that they were still casting for it for some featured Black singers, strong singers. And they loved all of our singing, and they would have us all the final place in the play for all of us. Right. All they needed us to do was go down to the theater and sing for the director and the producer and get their okay, and we could all be in the Broadway musical Hair. Okay. I was the only one that went.
All right. See,
so that's why I got my first Broadway show.
Melba's determination from then. You were like, well, you know what? I'm going. Whether you lot are going, that's up to you, but I'm at least going to go and try.
Valerie said, I'm not being bothered with that. They don't really pay you. And I want to make money. I'm going to write songs. I hope I get my songs placed with Motown.
And she did.
God bless you, but they don't pay no money over there.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went to sing for them. I got into the chorus, and that's how I got my first Broadway show. I wound up doing the female lead. I'm skipping again. The person that I replaced is important to say. It was Diane Keaton.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to skip again because one of the girls in the show said, Melba, listen, the way you got into the show, you didn't audition. Not really. She said, but if you want to go to another show, you need to learn how to audition. Mm-hmm. So she said, I audition all the time. And I can tell you some of the guidelines and where the auditions are. Anyway, to make a long story, a little shorter again, she told me about auditions for the Broadway play, Pearlie. Okay, I auditioned for that. I was trying to learn how to audition. I wasn't really looking to get the play, but I got the lead role. I wound up getting a Tony Award.
Well, I was going to say, not only did you audition and get the part, you got an award for it.
No, I didn't get an award. I got the Tony Award.
The Tony Award. Okay.
You know what the Tony Award is?
You're going to tell me.
It's the award that you get on Broadway. It's like the Grammy Award, but it's the best award that you can get for theater. So you need to mention that it was a Tony Award, okay?
Yeah.
Now, it was after that I can answer your question. That's when I got my first record deal.
Right. Because your career is so vast. I mean, it covers so many areas that it's interesting. And I'm glad that you told us how you got into Broadway, because from Broadway to the music are quite diverse. So it's nice that you told us how you got into Broadway theater, because that is something pretty special.
Yes. And the Broadway musical Hair was very peculiar. It broke all the rules. A Black woman played Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
But it was a comedy.
Right.
So they were making fun of society. They broke all of it. Yeah. So otherwise, maybe there wouldn't have been a Broadway show for me to learn about, because I wouldn't have known how to go or where to go to audition.
But things happen the way they happen for a reason. They happen as they are supposed to.
Absolutely.
They happen exactly as they're supposed to.
Yes.
So
now,
that's when
I'm going to get back to your questions, because I don't want to get off. There's a lot of different ways I could go, but you were asking me.
Go any way you want to go, darling, because this is your story. You tell it how you want to.
Well, I want to tell it from your perspective, because I think it'll be interesting from that perspective, because I think you're telling it so that your viewers or your listeners will know probably the same things that you're asking. So you're asking me, what about when I first got signed? So what did you want to know about? You probably want to know about my recording career, or do you?
I want to know about all of it. I want to know because I'm nosy like that. I want to know about all of it.
I see. Okay, well, after hair, yes, I was saying one of the girls in the chorus told me, because I didn't have a manager or an agent really, but she told me about Pearly, so I got that. Then from that, I got an agent and I got a manager, and they really ushered me into television.
Yeah.
So a lot of people know me because they saw me on the Ed Sullivan Show, or the Carol Burnett Show, or the Flip Wilson Show. You know, I mean, people much older than you, because this was before I had a hit recording.
Right. Yeah.
But those things helped me get good recording contracts.
Yeah.
And so then after that, I got to be offered, better recording
contracts and deals. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But as I said, the career is so vast, as you say. So you've done theater, you've trod the boards and done theater in Broadway. That's something special. Then you've done TV, you've done movies. It's everything. You've done everything.
Yeah, but I think what's interesting is it brought me back to music. Music was the beginning.
Yeah.
When I first learned, in my new family, that we were all singing, but I had a voice.
Yeah.
And then I used it in the classroom first. And I think it was first there that looking into those young people's faces, I see, you say I'm disciplined, but I think what I've learned is one of the great things is communicating. Like I'm looking in your face now, you're looking in mine.
Yeah.
So we're experiencing something.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm saying, what I wear makes a difference. I'm the packaging. I kind of, when you make an album cover, then when you have a record company, you have a whole team of people, each having their own telling Absolutely. What they need from you, what they need to sell this record.
Yeah. And
by this time, like I have good management, who happened to be my then, he's not now, but my then husband. And so we're going through this as, first of all, as Black Americans. At that time, there was no African American artist that had become a star on Broadway that was also a recording star. So we tried to find a manager. We couldn't find anybody. So we managed me myself, because they all said, well, she's from Broadway, she's not going to sell records. But I came from records.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's how we started managing ourselves. Like very often Black people have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's my point. That part
a lot of it is still happening like that today. A lot of it hasn't changed that much, even though you're talking a span of 40, 50 years. It hasn't really changed that much. To get that professional representation, as you say, a lot of people have to do it themselves.
Right. And I think it's because through the decades, things change. And whatever you had before, just like after this pandemic, nothing is going to be the same. I don't care where you are. You have to reinvent, and you can't do that isolated. You have to find out what's going on. We have to be technical. That's what there is.
Yeah.
And for us, things were moving on. We're not slaves anymore.
True.
Some people don't realize that.
Well, I always say one of the best things to come out of the pandemic for me is Zoom interviews, because here we are looking at each other in real time. And, alternatively, that would have been a phone interview, which is nowhere near as dynamic as having the visuals. So I think this is the one good thing.
But it's also expanded the base. Everybody does an interview or podcast because that's what's available to everybody. Everybody has to be kind of a communicator. So
that's right. Absolutely. So as you said, your first big deal was with?
I think it was with Mercury Records.
Right.
Recording deal, yeah. And then it was with Buddha Records. Then I think it was with Epic Records. And then the last one, I believe, was with Capitol Records. But as far as theater is concerned, I also had the opportunity to work with Jeffrey Holder and opposite Eartha Kitt in Timbuktu, Broadway musical. And then later on in the 90s, in the role of Fantine, the Broadway musical Les Miserables.
Yeah, that's right. So Broadway has always been there for you, hasn't it? Plays has always been there for you.
Yeah, it's not. It's not because I had such good management or representation, but like you said, things happen for a reason.
Yeah, and you always manage to end up somehow treading those Broadway boards again.
Yes, and hopefully I'll do it again.
Yeah, I can see that is a love of yours as well as the music, of course.
It's become a love of mine. Yeah.
Yeah, the acting as well as the vocals is, a love of yours.
Yes, it is now. Now that I know it's available,
That's right. But it was always there for you, it was always there for you.
Well, that's important for people to know too, because sometimes things are there for you, but you don't know it. And you might even be doing it already. You don't know it.
Yeah, this is true. So which was your first big single that was a hit?
Oh, okay. I think the first one was called I Am His Lady with Mercury, which is a beautiful ballad. But it wasn't as big as, I think, This Is It, which was written and produced by Van McCoy, who ushered in the disco era with the disco hustle back in the late 70s. And then after that, I got McFadden and Whitehead. You know who that is, right?
Oh, yes. 50 years this year of PIR.
Right, it's their jubilee. Yes. Yes.
I bow.
Yes. Well, they arranged a song that was written by the Bee Gees. You remember them, right?
Of course. You stepped into my life.
Yeah, but Gene McFadden and John Whitehead arranged that for me so that it became a huge hit for me.
Massive.
Yeah.
And I want the long version, the 7-minute version. Don't be giving me no 3 minutes of that tune. I want all 7 minutes. Yeah, that's right. I want the 12-inch.
Yeah. Those were the firsts.
Yeah. But I love as well, and I guess it's part of the Melba discipline. You constantly evolve and change and keep up with what's going on and reinvent yourself, as you did say earlier, because you listen to the sounds and you're always there and you're changing with the sounds. So if you listen to This Is It, it sounds completely different from Keeping My Lover Satisfied that came out in the 80s.
Can I give credit though? I have a very versatile voice.
Right.
But the personality of You Stepped Into My Life, that's the Bee Gees.
Yeah. If you've heard, maybe I shouldn't say this, but you actually made it yours.
Oh yeah, I do. But you have to have that framework. I'm not a songwriter.
Yeah.
I'm bringing your attention to maybe the bass line you heard in the original Bee Gees, maybe the bass line that you heard in McFadden and Whitehead's, and the guitar that ushered you into the song. You loved it before you even heard the voice singing.
Yeah, of course.
And then I took it and made it my own.
But I mean, it's you're working, the three geniuses there. There's you, there's McFadden and Whitehead. You can only make gold. You can only create gold. There's no way anything can go wrong with three people like that working together.
I agree, because, you're all listening to each other. You're not taking it all and making it just how you want it. You're feeling how you're feeling.
But
like you and I are.
It's your knowledge of the music, if I'm expressing that correctly.
No, that's
you
true.
Know the music.
Yeah.
You're not just hearing it or being a track being played to you. You know the music, which will be a completely different interpretation.
That's right.
From someone who's just listening to a track, or a track's being presented to them and they're told, sing this. Right. You've got to know the music, and the way you will feel it is different from that other person. Right. So
that's what I'm trying to say.
I made it easy for you. I said it for you. But yeah, you know, You Stepped Into My Life is yours. We know the Bee Gees wrote it, but it's Melba's.
Well, no, you know, everybody doesn't know that. And so people will say, because it sounds like it's so much mine. Some people have asked me, well, how did you feel when you wrote that? I didn't write it.
Yeah.
And if a person asks that, I think they have the right to know, well, how does it come together? You know, because they may learn a little bit more about themselves and how they function, you know.
Yeah. Now, Standing Right Here.
All righty then. I'm going to tell you something. Gene McFadden wrote that for me. You don't know, Gene. I'm expressing myself and how I know him and John. They could be stand-up comics if they wanted to.
Really?
So yeah. See that feeling that you got now?
Yeah.
That's what it's like being around them. And like, you know, like John especially would write some lyrics. You know, like if he would say, I'm standing right here, it would sound stupid, you know. I'm just standing.
Yeah.
But you know, this is how they inspired each other.
But it's interesting that they wrote and arranged tracks for you, yet you were never actually signed to Philly.
No, we kind of borrowed them. Well, I got to give credit to my ex-husband. His name is Charles Huggins. Some people have a gift to put people together. And he went down to Philly and he made friends with the owners of Philly International.
You'd know that better than I.
Well, he made friends with them, and especially one of the people that turned out to be a good friend is Teddy Pendergrass.
Gamble and Huff.
Gamble and Huff, yes. Made friends with them. And I think I did some tracks down there with Gene and John and Teddy as they were composing things and we were working things up. And then they just became so close that, as a matter of fact, my ex-husband and I are the ones who recorded Gene and John and Ain't No Stopping Us Now. Because Gamble and Huff wouldn't let them record as solo artists. They wouldn't allow them to.
Wow. You see, this is why it is so important, and we've kind of put this series together, because these are our stories. And, you know, you see the finished product, but these stories need to be told. They need to be told by us, and they need to be told with our perspective and that understanding.
This is important music, not just because they were hits.
Yeah.
And I think that
it played a part in history.
Yes, a part of history, but it's our personal history. And we're more than a hit record. We're family.
Yeah.
Now, not having a proper family, I value family.
You realize the importance.
I don't care if it's extended. I don't care who it is. People are more than just customers to me.
Yeah. People that you can reach out to for support and encouragement and inspiration and nurturing.
And but in the family, you got to give it back too.
Absolutely. Yeah. But, you know.
So it's much more than your living or your work or a job or a hit record.
Yeah. So you borrowed McFadden and Whitehead.
Kind of borrowed them.
You borrowed them. Sneak them out the back door.
Little bit.
Come over here for a minute. I need you to write me a song. Yeah. But it worked. I mean, Standing Right Here, I don't know if it was that big at the time, but it has become an anthem.
It's been kind of, it was big, but it's become like a cult.
Absolutely.
It just hangs on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Standing Right Here is the one. But Pick Me Up, I'll Dance Too.
Yes.
Is one of those.
Right. Well, there's another one that Gene and John wrote for me.
Yeah.
And I remember John was such a clown. He was talking about somebody actually physically picking him up. A big old man talking about somebody picking you up.
But it sounds like you had a great time working with them.
Yeah, that's the point.
A great time working with them. And I have to say, they have got a signature sound. Yes. It's almost like their production, you know, like you can tell if it's a Leon Ware production, there's a sound, there's a mark that is theirs.
That's right.
Just like that. Yes. You can hear. They're all connected.
And it also goes back to what you were saying too. That's how you could also hear what the period is.
Absolutely.
Why this sounds so different than something else, because it's somebody else's arrangement and it's their personality. You're feeling it's another time.
And I mean, from back when I first was buying those tracks, like Pick Me Up, I'll Dance and, Standing Right Here, I could hear a Philly sound and was confused because I'm thinking, this isn't a Philly label, but it sounds like Philly. Then you read the footnotes and you're going, yeah, McFadden and Whitehead. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
So it's really lovely to see that your evolution, you've stuck with everything and changed with everything and evolved, being a chameleon and staying current. And that's why we love when you guys come over here. And it's nice to see that you all are still performing. You're still feeling it. You, Melissa, Shirley, Jean. It's fantastic.
Yes.
It's absolutely fantastic. So are things opening up back in the States now?
Oh, they are very much so.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I feel like I have to be careful because the rules are very kind of patchwork. And one place has no masks, another place has masks. You don't know who's been vaccinated, who's not. So I'm kind of staying sequestered. I'm going to wait and see. For one thing, you have at least 3 different vaccines, and I hope everybody that should get them because it's making the whole pandemic go down and everybody be safer. But I need to know a little bit more about and I don't know if you can really get what's going to happen in the long term.
Yeah.
Will be some of the effects, but we need to do something immediately. So I'm not suggesting that anybody not take the shot, but I've had pneumonia a few times and bronchitis and a bunch of things. So I want to make sure, like I was saying, that's what keeps my discipline high. I know things are going to make me very sick, so I don't do that. And I also know you can't just not be sick. You have to build your immune system up if you can.
Absolutely.
I know,
building your immune system is through a lifestyle, not just taking a tablet or a vaccine.
And in case somebody doesn't know that means what you eat,
what
you drink. You can't smoke. You can't do things that
damage your health and your immunity.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so while we have this downtime, I'm trying to get strong like a bull.
I think you're doing pretty well so far from what I can see.
You have to be careful when you get strong, you don't get fat too.
There isn't an inch of fat on you. There's probably more fat on a strand of your hair than there is on your body. There's no fat on you, so I won't worry about
that. I'm working out. Everybody go work out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But you are America opening up. Are you being called to perform again? Are you still saying? So when will be your next performance in the US?
Well, actually, we have some offers to come to UK. Oh, you said US.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll get to the UK in a minute.
They're all virtual right now. I've done some things. We have a couple of different studios that we can go to do videos. And there are going to be some things set up where you'll have, in one case, they'll have like a huge parking lot where, like we used to go to drive-ins.
Yeah.
So you drive your car there, you have your electronic equipment in the car, and you'll have a video on the stage. So you can have your band and your performance on a stage. It's also the big screen. So you'll have the distancing.
Okay, that's clever. Because that's really using the concept of drive-in cinemas, isn't it, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one concept. And you can have your popcorn and hot dogs and everything, and whatever else you want in your car.
Yeah, we'll skip that bit. Yes. So now we move on to the UK. So when are you coming back to the UK? Because I'm sure Orlando has something planned for you guys.
Yes, and a couple of other wonderful promoters. Everybody's watching to see when it's going to be safe. For everybody, because you have to fly a long distance. And
I think it's pretty difficult to try to arrange anything because all the time the rules are changing. As you said, there's so much contradictory information being given. that you actually have to make the choice to decide what you think is safe for you and your family and friends.
Well, there's that, plus whoever's arranging it has to arrange it officially between both countries.
Yeah.
And then we have to determine that that's safe for us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, but everybody's working out. We want to do it, so it'll happen.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you guys must be raring to go after a year of no performing, because music is your life.
I'm sitting up here buffed that can't nobody see it.
They will. Just keep it up. They will.
You said just be patient.
Be patient. Be patient.
I'm ready to go.
What's Melba up to now? What's next for Melba?
Just basically, staying and learning more about social media, because that's the way everybody knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
On the different platforms, I have new music out. I have a song called Just Doing Me.
You hear that, guys? Melba's new tune, Just Doing Me. And where is this available?
On all social media platforms.
Okay.
It is for sale, and you have, because you have Instagram and Facebook, and you have Amazon, and you have all the places.
Spotify and all of that business.
Yes. But fortunately, very successful, so it's on all of them. So I don't have to remember each one of them.
This is the thing, did I post it there? Is it? Yeah, just put it on all of them. They'll let it do its work. Yeah. But I mean, how is it for you? Because the industry has changed so much from where it was in the beginning, when you were talking about deals and record deals and contracts, and now you just make a tune and put it out there. A lot of you are doing independent stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing independent, but I have some help because, like I said, I'm not a songwriter. I'm not a producer. One of the things that's happened is the people that were young DJs in clubs 10, 20, maybe more years ago, or had their own platforms on internet, have their own following and their own base, and they direct them and they channel them, and they're very, very specific about how they work. It's like they're the new record company.
Right. Yeah.
Fortunately, they call me Auntie Melba. They consider me part of the family, so they write me hits that I can sing. Okay. And then they put them up there. And that's how you continue to change and reinvent yourself too. Who is with you now? Maybe it's fortunate that I'm not a songwriter, because I have to listen to what they're doing now and see how if that's natural and normal for me. And they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all part of the Melba process, though, of staying current and making sure that you are involving yourself with people who know what's going on now. Yes, you've got the musical knowledge and foundation from back then, which is priceless. Nothing can touch that. But as you say, the way you put it out there, the way you market it is completely different now. So you have to make that connection with people who know what's going on now.
Right. And I can only be with people that I trust, because I can't be in charge of that. It's too much to do. They have to be skilled at this.
Because you want to get on and do what you do, which is sing.
No, but that's all I can do. I can't write.
That's what you do, sing. You don't do social media or marketing and
No, I get help with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, darling, we can't be great at everything. Right. We can't be great.
I can. Some people can. I can't.
No, you just continue to be great at what we love Melba for, okay?
Trying.
Don't let that slip trying to pick up on something else, yeah? That's it. Well, listen, I have to say, again, the honor and pleasure is the BTM Club for you taking time to talk with us and tell us the Melba story. You've got so many fans here, and, they'll be very interested to hear those little nuances about you and how it started and the journey. It's very inspirational, and it's another one of those stories that is, you know what? The beginnings don't have to be great for the ending to be great.
Very well said. Yes. Thank you for telling my story better than I could.
That's what is the inspiration, and that is exactly what this is about. People see the story and think, well, okay, things might not be that great for me, but, I can still achieve if I'm as disciplined as Melba.
No.
You got to try.
God's in charge. God's in charge. You got to remember that. I will tell
he
everybody
is.
that.
He is.
He doesn't always take the best and the most disciplined. It's up to him. Just remember that. And whatever it is you want to try to do, please try.
Just try and do it to the best of your ability. Don't be half-hearted about it.
Yes.
Put your all into it, you know? Put your all into it. Well, thank you, my lovely, for spending time with us. We all appreciate it. We all wish you the very best with your new projects. And we look forward to seeing Melba in person back in the UK as soon as it's safe.
Me too.
Take care, my lovely.
Thank
all
you.
the very best.